Dr. Ofoyetan, let me bring you on to this conversation. Barely 2 months into retirement, CDS Musa has been called back into service. What exactly do you make of this nomination? Does this signal a shift in how the president intends to handle national security going forward?
Thank you very much for having me, and a very big greetings to my boss, Dennis Amakri. Um, I remember I said a lot of things relating to that this morning. I happen to be one of the strong advocates of bringing a core military officer to head the Ministry of Defense for now. The issue is not whether he's a politician or... For now, we don't need those type of people at anything that has to do with security for now, all over the country, should be occupied by core professionals. When I say core professionals, I mean core professionals, because Nigeria, as it were, if I don't want to sound petrifying, I would have said Nigeria is actually in a state of war. And you would have seen it from a lot of activities that have been going on. Within the past 2 days, there have been a lot of attack within Oyo State, Osun State, and the like, kidnapping attempts, and all those stuff like that. Kwara State is not resting. You don't even have to mention the 19 states in the north. They all have similar challenges, with the exception of very few. It's either Boko Haram, Lakorawa, and Saru, or the bandits, whatever you call them. So we need this tough-handed kinetic approach for now. Before you talk about non-kinetic approach, the first thing is let the military establish its superiority. Its superiority in every aspect. So bringing Musa, I know very well that the CDS did excellently well as CDS. Many people may not know, but I can tell you that his being CDS gave Kaduna State some level of respite and rest, as it were, all through his period as the Chief of Defense Staff. Now bringing him as Minister of Defense, knowing full well that one as it is, none of the service chiefs will be able to, downplay whatever he is going to say, because you are talking of somebody who has been there. He has been a theater, an operational officer ab initio. So the terrain is not novel to him. He is from Kaduna State. Kaduna has been a very restive state. So when you talk about somebody that understands the field very well, I think Musa happened to fall within that category of people. So if Mr. President had made up his mind that this man should be the person to do the job, the best I expect is that other service chiefs should give him the maximum support. And of course, the political class should, as much as possible, just remove their mind, remove their eyes from the Ministry of Defense and its activities, and let them do what they know how to do best, which is to ensure security at every level in the country. I also expect that Mr. President will also give the political backing, because appointing him is one thing. Another thing is giving him that political backing, because I can assure you that in the next few days, you are going to be having either responses that may not be advanced. They want to look at his approach now. They want to look at whether he's going to come all out. Then those that are sympathetic to the act of terrorism in Nigeria will not begin to shout, begin to make a noise and all those stuff like that. They can begin to tell you propaganda story and all those stuff. But if Mr. President is able to put cotton wool in his ears and if possible blindfold his eyes to what the military would do at the charter of operation and say, all I want is clear these idiots out of the forest and all those stuff like that, no matter who politician or religious leader is saying anything, just pretend as if you did not hear or you did
Dr.
not know.
Ofoyetan, let me quickly come in here. I mean, interagency collaboration got better with the retired service chiefs, which CDS Musa was a part of. But now in another capacity, there are concerns about how he would be able to, manage coordination failures between the military, police, DSS, and the NSCDC, which many say worsen insecurity. What structural reforms would truly fix these gaps? That is he capable of driving them?
No, you see, in terms of interagency coordination, that is the responsibility of NSA. So if there's a failure in that aspect, then NSA should be held responsible. NSA is the hub that warehouses all security agencies in the country. NSA has the responsibility to coordinate all security agencies in the country. NSA has the responsibility to call to order any of the agencies that is not working symbiotically with others. So if any of those agencies are going trajectorily to what used to be, and it did not do the needful, then of course, I think that Mr. President should begin to think of what to do as far as the office of the NSA is concerned. So the NSA now has to, come all out to prove its professional capability. If not so, I think it's advisable that it throws in the towel.
Mr. Macro, let me come back to you. And I'm just here wondering what you think his top 3 priorities should be in his first 90 days and why. And also because it looks like President Tinubu listened to Nigerians on social media. That's the conversation in some quarters because CDS Musa is loved. What benchmarks should the public use to evaluate his performance after 6 months?
Anyway, yes, when you look at it, the NSA himself know this. They've worked together before. They've worked together before he retired. And then one thing I know again is that for him getting out and looking from outside must have seen things that he would have wanted to do when he was inside. And then, of course, the initial, things that he need to do right now is to support, because I think that's basically the job of the Minister of Defense. He's the one doing the budget. And like Tony Ofoyetan was saying, that the president should give him a political backing. He should also give him the economic backing. Because that budget, must be given to them to do what they have to do. Sometimes it is declared in the National Assembly, but they don't get the budget. The budget does not trickle down to them, all of it. It is the highest budget that we're having. And then to manage it, I think the minister should be in a very good position. He knows the needs of the armed forces, and he can, manage it properly. And what he can do right now, the first things he can do is to support them to make sure that the killings stop, the kidnappings stop. And then, of course, I'm happy that we have this ginger that came into play, which is the ginger that President Trump has brought to Nigeria. There are a lot of wins right now, a lot of wins. Forget about all the kidnappings that are spiking up. They are just trying to kidnap people to use as human shield. But I think there are a lot of wins. And of course, if there's a coordination between the forces, which I'm sure the Minister of Defense can do now, I think we're heading towards some success.
Let me stay with you, Mr. Makri. And I mean, talking about some of the initiatives he had in mind before retirement, I remember that it was in June. General Musa says Nigeria needs a comprehensive database of its citizens and foreigners to enable it to track and arrest criminals within its territorial space. It was also calling for border fencing to curb terrorism. What is your assessment of that proposal for border fencing as a counterterrorism measure?
Okay, I didn't agree with him.
Oh.
I did not agree with him, and I think I wrote about it in some newspapers that you cannot fence the border. The border is too wide, and then, of course, fencing. It's an old idea, that even the Chinese used, by building the Great Wall of China. Right now, technology is what you're going to use. And I'm sure the new minister will respond to that because, of course, we're in the age of technology, and then there is no need to start building walls. Even the one that President Trump tried to build between Mexico and the United States has been abandoned after spending billions of dollars, so I don't think the wall was a very good idea. So I think he has to invest more in technology. The war has shifted from even fighter jets to drones of all kinds, predator drones, surveillance drones, ISR, with drones that collect intelligence, do surveillance, and of course, reconnaissance. These are the things that I expect him to invest in to win the war.
All right, let me go back to Dr. Ofoyetan. I need his insight on this particular conversation. Dr. Ofoyetan, how effective are physical border fences in reducing terrorism and cross-border criminal activities? Are Nigeria's borders suitable for large-scale fencing when you also consider their geography and length?
I think the first question should be, which type of fencing are we talking about that cannot be breached?
Okay.
Is it going to be bomb-proof? Is it going to be dynamite-proof? Now, if the answer is no, then it is not fit for purpose. But if it's going to be bomb-proof, if it's going to be dynamite-proof, then I will say yes. Unfortunately, I don't think it will be any of those. So like the MON said, for now, the issue of border fencing, it's good because it can be restrictive to unintentional criminals that are not determined. Yes, it can deter them. But you are talking about fighting against terrorists that have all manner of weapons, all manner of dynamite, all manner of bombs, IEDs and the like, that can blow off the fence. And can, even without blowing up the fence, what are we talking about? It's just a little passage they need. Create a little hole in the fence to give them access in and out. And that's all. That means the essence of, as we speak today, the Nigerian customs and immigration rather, they are fighting against, identifying and being able to access more than 2,000 illegal routes in the country. So the issue of talking about fencing of the whole nation, because that will be the implication, fencing of the whole nation may be extremely expensive. And of course, at the end of the day, the purpose of that fences will be defeated because it will be sabotaged, it will be destroyed, it will be vandalized, it will still not meet the expected purpose. So I don't think that it's a veritable idea as it were. Like we had now, even the American one, which was basically for immigration control and all those stuff, has been abandoned. There are a lot of technology is a major thing that can be used. We have drones that can move as much as 5,000 kilometers from where you are. So these are things that government should invest in
also,
rather than talk about that.
There are those who have also said this shake-up must go beyond the Ministry of Defense. But at this point, we must take a break, and when we return, we'll delve into that. But it's also